Okay, so we shall begin. Uh, okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all very much for joining us for our public session training for today. My name is Timothy, and I'll be your coordinator for this afternoon. So I hope everyone has had a great lunch today, and it's really wonderful to see such a one strong turnout for this session lah. So today the course we're about to begin is called From Paper Chaos to Digital Confidence, Your First Steps. So what is this course mainly about? It is designed to help you discover how to kickstart your digital transformation journey. So in this session, you learn simple but practical ways on how to digitize your documents, using indexing and retrieval, and adopting digital workflows lah. So what are the benefits? Is like it can reduce inefficiencies, boost productivity, and set your organization to a path for a smarter and more confident document management strategies. So let me introduce our trainer for today. Today is our training and development manager, Mr. Eric Chu. Mr. Eric has years of experience in helping organizations to improve their business processes through better document and enterprise content management solutions. So with his expertise in guiding here, you are definitely in good hands lah. Okay. So a few housekeeping rules before we begin this training session. Number one, the training session will be recorded. If you have any questions during the presentations, feel free to raise your hands and ask anytime, or drop them by in the chat box lah. So I'll be attending to the comments. Then we will ask Mr. Eric halfway. So we also have a dedicated Q&A session at the end. So you're welcome to also hold your questions until the end of the sessions so that we can address them properly. So also lastly, if you so happen to get disconnected, no worries, you can also rejoin the same Zoom link. So sit back, stay engaged, and take plenty of notes because the insights you get today will give you, hopefully will give you more confidence in taking your first steps in digital transformation in your organizations. So with that, I'll now hand over the session to Eric. Eric, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Tim. Good afternoon, everyone, and I'm very excited to have everyone here. Okay, thank you for joining. So before I start, let me introduce a little bit on myself, right? So as you know, my name is Eric, okay, and I'm the learning and development specialist for InfoConnect, right? So I have more than 5 years experience in the tech industry, especially for system implementation. Okay, so all this system implementation, it covers things like document management, workflow, reporting, wealth management, and so on and so forth. Okay, so and it's not only for a single industry, it's actually across industry for financial industry, even governments, banking, and also insurance lah. Okay, so hopefully backed by this experience, you'll have a very nice session that won't be just about rules and also systems, but also rather on you'll see something on real life example, and maybe have some activities, some Q&A so that you can keep engaged. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat box. My colleague will address it, okay, if I overlook it lah. So sit back and relax, and also hopefully you enjoy this session. Okay. Now, let me move on to the topic of today. Okay. Right. So our session this round would be From Paper Chaos to Digital Confidence, Your First Steps. So basically, this session is to highlight how digitization can transform your organization into better, right? And how and basically I'll also show you a way on how to start this process. Okay. Now, before I delve deeper into this, I would like to ask everybody here a question, right? So basically, if every one of you lost the access to your organization's key documents permanently, what would it cost your organization? Okay, so anybody that have any idea, please do put inside the chat box. Financial loss lah. Okay. Okay. Again, if you lose the access to your organization's key documents permanently, what would it cost? Okay. So for an organization, if you lose all the key documents, what would it cost you? Okay. Financially, reputation, productivity, what would it cost? Okay. Time lead to productivity loss. Okay. Anybody else? Productivity. Okay. Only two? Lost confidential information lah. Okay. Correct. Right. So reputation. Yes, reputation. All right. So basically, I see that all of you have idea of in the impact, yeah, if you lose all your key documents, right? So that is a good start. So that's why, right? Okay, any more? All right, no more. Okay, never mind. Okay, so now, so that is what happens, yeah? Everybody kind of have idea if let's say they lose all those key documents, right? Now, this is by losing documents is also part of what we call paper chaos, right? And paper chaos is not just about losing document, but other than that, it's also a situation where a large quantity of papers are disorganized, scattered, and difficult to manage, creating a sense of disorder and confusion. Okay, so not having access to your key documents, losing your key documents, having your key documents scattered around, that will create paper chaos. So what happens, yeah, if there is paper chaos in your organization? Okay, first of all, you have productivity losses. Okay, so what do I mean by productivity losses? You lose productivity by having to rework documents. Okay, so imagine, yeah, you are working on a financial report. Okay, now towards the end of the day, when you want to finish up, you decided to finish the report probably the next day. So you save the document and you store it somewhere. But the next day when you come in, you are not able to find the document, right? So after perhaps maybe 1 or 2 hours of searching, you give up, then you decided, okay, you're gonna redo all the document. So basically, this will impact your productivity, okay? By having to rework document that you lost. So not only that, yeah, say for example, if you are working on the same document and you need input from various other datas, but the other datas is maintained by different people in the same department, say for example, right? So in order to put the data in, you have to fact check, you have to combine the data and so on and so forth, just to have something in your report, right? So that is also something that impact your productivity. So not to mention if let's say you want to search for the source of the documents and it took very long for you to search for all these documents because again, you do not have a system in place, right? That will also impact your productivity. All right. So these are not situations that is imaginary. It's something that happen more common than what we think. Right. So say for example over here, there's a study by McKinsey and Company that is done on 2012. that states that employees spend an average of 1.8 hours per day or 9.3 hours per week searching for and gathering information. So this includes time spent looking for document presentations and other forms of information. So that is around 30% of the entire workday. All right, just for searching. So all these are very tedious processes as in the searching. So if you're not able to find for the things that you want, basically these are the things that really impact the productivity. Right. So other than that, compliance and also legal risk. Okay, so if let's say paper chaos is in your organization, chances are you will have poor access control or maybe even non-existing audit trail. Okay, so what I mean by that is that, say, for example, you have documents kept inside your organization, right? But because there is no good audit trail to the document and also to the people that borrow the document, all right? And also there is non-existing security, meaning everybody can access any document. So there's a risk whereby, classified documents would be compromised and leaked outside. So if this gets reported, say for example to PDPA, yeah, there will be fine involved. Okay, there will be penalty imposed. Okay, so if the document is related to clients, okay, and let's say the document is leaked somewhere, so the clients might also take legal actions. So basically, these are the compliance and legal risks. Okay. Then at another situation would be, say, for example, if let's say you are having a legal battle with another party, okay, and there is a contract previously involved, and in order to prove the terms of the contract, but then you are not able to find the original contract because someone borrowed it, and there is no existing audit trail of anyone who borrowed it, okay, that would mean that you are not able to prove anything in court. So having a good trail of your contracts, of your documents is very important in order to avoid all these compliance and legal risks. Okay. So unauthorized access due to due to access control and security is also one of the leading causes of all these compliance and legal risks. So this has to be taken into consideration very seriously. Okay, so if also there's all these you know productivity losses and also all these compliance and legal risks happening in your organization, chances are it would translate to financial losses. Okay, so say for example you got penalties, okay, you are ordered to pay compensation in court, right? Your staff spend more time in searching document than to do sales or marketing, okay? That would translate to opportunity cost, right? So those are financial losses. At the same time, if you are still using physical documentation, say for example, those paper documents, okay, chances are you need to store it somewhere in some facility. So it's either by rent or you own the building. So owning real estate just to store documents is actually quite expensive. And not to mention, if let's say any disaster happen, right? The building burned down. So those are all financial losses that would impact your organization in a very, very serious manner. Yeah. And all these accidents, disasters, I know some people will say, very less likely that this will happen. Yeah. But very less likely, it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Say, for example, in what you call it, in 13 February 2018, yeah, a blaze destroyed about 40% of KWSP, right? So the same thing happened in 23rd May 2023. Okay. And in terms of compliance, say for example, if you're a financial institution, okay, under RMIT by Bank Negara Malaysia, so non-compliance will result in their fine. Like what happened, okay, recently for CIMB. Okay, so CIMB on 29 July 2024, Bank Negara Malaysia fined CIMB around 760,000 for non-compliance. Okay, so other than that, between 27 May and 16 June this year, all right, Bank Negara Malaysia also imposed a fine of 3.4 mil, around 3.4 mil, okay, to Bank Islam for non-compliance. Okay, so those are the things that will happen, yeah, if let's say document chaos exists in your organization. Okay, so you are at risk of facing all this. So, but let's not talk about the risk. But now let's talk about the benefit. Okay, rather let's talk about the benefit on why you should embark on digitization. Okay, so the first reason is so that you can implement agile and flexible operations. So what does it mean by agile and flexible operations? So this one, it means basically adaptability. Okay, so say for example, your business is doing well and you are storing tons of document, right? But now that you want to expand your business, you may require a storage double the size. So is it easier to do with physical storage, or is it easier to do with a server that you just need to increase the size? Okay, so that is the question that you need to ask yourself. How adaptable to expansion that you want to be? Okay, so other than that, integrating new tech. Okay, say for example, now AI is all the buzz, right? Is it easier to integrate AI into your system if it's physical? Which actually I can tell you is impossible. Okay, or is it easier to implement AI for something that is already digitized? Okay, and another thing is so that, say for example, if anything happens, are you able to continue the operations or work from anywhere? How easy how easy it is for your staff to access, your data from your company? Okay, so in case, say for example, another pandemic, of course, example lah, huh? Right? So how easy would it be for you to adapt to the situation? Or in case of any disaster, how easy is it for you to adapt? Okay? So another one is resilient business models. Okay? So resilient business model is it means business continuity. Okay? So in case of any disaster, right? Do you have a backup? If let's say you use physical documents, of course, there isn't any backup lah. But if let's say you do your periodical backup for your server, right? Then even in the case of disaster, you have a backup. Then in case of anything happen, say for example, another shutdown, all right? Are you able to continue the operation? So this is what it means by having a resilient business model. Okay. Then seamless collaboration. Nowadays everything is about collaboration. Say for example, you want to effortlessly connect with your suppliers. You want to effortlessly connect with your customers, your partners. Yeah. So how is it connected right now? Okay, how easy is for you to have collaboration? Then faster innovation cycle. The faster innovation cycle meaning how fast is it for you to bring a concept up to production? Okay, so like traditionally, you have a concept, you have to go through a series of approval, then after much discussion, then after that they produce something that might be costly. Say for example, a billboard, right? Then they have to put it on top of the billboard. So in order to maintain, in order to measure, in order to market their product, right? So uh, after that, what you call it? It's very hard for you also to measure the effectiveness of the billboard, right? But with digitization, you have a faster innovation cycle because you can turn concept into production in a shorter manner. And you can experiment things. Say, for example, any idea of advertisement, right? At a lower cost. And then you can post things instead of at billboard, it can be posted in social media. So basically, these are the benefits, yeah, of digitization. Okay, so enough with the benefits, yeah. If let's say any one of you would want to start digitizing their documents, where and how do you even want to start? Okay, so let me answer this question. The first method is not, sorry, the first step is basically to understand what is the request of your organization, to understand what you want. So in order to understand what you want, you have to first understand the difference between storing files and also managing documents. So both of these are different things. Okay, let's take a look at storing documents. Okay, storing is just the basic act of saving or archiving files. All right, it focuses on putting things in a location and the availability of that access to the file. All right, it's a passive process whereby after you store, you can just forget about it until you want to retrieve it. Okay, so that is just storing. Now, document management, it is on a bigger scale, right? It is not just about storing, but rather it handles the entire life cycle of the document itself. From capturing data up until organizing that data, until implementing security and enabling collaboration. So it is an active process. It doesn't end when you store, okay? It merely starts after storing, then after that you can still process the document. Okay, so that is the difference between storing and document management. One is passive, another one is active, one is storing, just basic storing, another one is managing the entire life cycle of the document. Okay, so that is the difference between storing and managing documents. It depends on what you want. Now, so let us delve deeper, yeah, into this topic. So how this document storage nowadays come about? Okay, so traditionally, if let's say you have a file, okay, if you have a document that you want to keep, you will put in this file folder, okay, this cardboard file folder. Then after that, you'll label the file folder, okay, with the date, the name, and so on and so forth. Then you'll go to the filing cabinet and put it in one of the drawer according to the arrangement. So that is how traditional document storage started. Okay. So document management, on the other hand, is basically done using a system nowadays. Okay. So basically it's a software that starts from capturing, storing, managing, and distributing documents efficiently. So one, again, is storing. Another one is managing the life cycle of document. So nowadays, of course, storing, it doesn't only include physical documents. We also have cloud storage. Yeah. So nowadays, storing is in cloud storage. And that's why I would like to show you the difference between a document management system and also cloud storage. So cloud storage again is also just to store documents, okay? And probably some of it has basic features like sharing, okay? And the data or your documents would be stored in servers provided by the cloud providers. Okay, while document management system, it manages entire life cycle. Okay, it has comprehensive features which allows things like access control, security, workflows, advanced searches, version management, and are compliant to regulations. Yeah. So it can be on cloud. Some of them do offer cloud, but some of them it can be on premise as well. So meaning the documents is still kept in your own company. So there won't be that much risk of it getting compromised. Okay? Now that you understand, yeah, the difference between storing and also document management, okay, the second step that you can take in order to digitizing your document is by implementing simple changes that lead to big improvements. Okay, implementing simple changes that lead to big improvements. So what you can do, right? I know that organizations typically have a lot of documents and processes in place. Okay, so it is nearly impossible in order to digitize all at once. It's a process that takes time. Okay, so what can be done is by starting with frequently used or business critical documents. So these can be your contracts, your HR forms, your application forms, or even things like invoices. So you start with all those frequently used and business critical documents. So once you start digitizing those, okay, you can store using structured digital folders. Okay, so this is an example of structured digital folders. Okay, instead of having a folder that you just dump everything in, make it a folder that contains structure. So it can be category, year, and another subfolder inside that contains the name of the companies or the name of your clients. Okay, so if you do not want to arrange it in this way, okay, you can also put it in like, say for example, the year, okay, the category, and then another subfolder containing the name of your clients. Okay, so it depends on how you want to structure it, but make sure it is structured. So people know where to put it, people know where to find it. Okay, this is the first step of digitizing your processes as well. Now, the next one is by utilizing metadata for document indexing and retrieval. Okay, so what exactly is metadata? Metadata is the information about a content or a document. Okay, so what is indexing? Remember when I say when during the traditional document storage, people put their document inside the folder and they label the folder. The label is what we call the indexing. Okay, these are the indexing contains things like the title, the date, or perhaps the name of the company. Okay, so metadata is normally used as the value for the indexing. Say, for example, the date, which the metadata meaning the exact date for this category, okay? Or then other metadata contain things like the title or maybe the name, okay? So why is metadata so important? Why is indexing so important? Basically, it gives you insight on what document that you are dealing with without opening the document and reading everything. Basically, it saves you time. Okay, so this is why it's so important, and the purpose is more than that. Basically, it has few purpose. Okay, first of all, is for search and retrieval. How come? Okay, say for example, if let's say you forget the name of a file, all right? And you want to search for the particular file. How do you want to search? You search according to the file's attribute, right? Like say for example, who is the author? What is the date? Okay, you can perhaps put the date inside or you put the name of the author. So this is what the system use when they search for that particular document. Not only just the title, but also all this metadata. So let me do a sample for you. Say for example, in my downloads, yeah, I have what you call it? I have lots and lots of document. I don't know which is which. So I don't even remember what is the title of the document that I want to search for. So I search according to the author, right? So the author is me, myself, right? So the system will suggest all these items. Because why? Because if let's say I right click, go to properties, okay, I go to details, I can see the author is me. So basically, this is how metadata works. Okay, metadata indexing. The indexing will take the value from the metadata. Okay, so when you want to search for the document, it not only search the title, it will search the value that is recorded in the indexing, which is the metadata. Okay, so it helps in categorization and location. Okay, so all this, it tells you how and where you should put your documents. Okay. And at the first glance, it also tells you what kind of document that you are dealing with without you having to open and read the entire thing. Okay. So that's why metadata is so important. Now, the fourth step in digitizing is by implementing digital business workflows. Okay. So what are workflows? Is processes that guide how document should flow. Okay, so say imagine in your company you have a process, okay, say a claim process. So what you need to do is to fill in the claim form, then after that pass to your manager. If your manager is not there, you put in his tray. Okay, so once your manager approve, he have to dispatch it to another department. Okay, so basically this is how the flow of document works for a particular process, right? So all this traditionally it takes time and it creates unnecessary work for people. Okay, so by implementing digital business workflows, what happened is that you set the workflow process for the document. So whenever they want to do a claim, okay, they just fill in the digital form, run the workflow will automatically submit to the manager for approval. Upon approval, it will submit to another department. So this happens within the same system and it's automatic. So with this, it saves you a lot of time. It saves you errors. It saves you extra work. Okay, so this one, it ensures consistency. Number one, because the workflow is already set. By submitting, you'll go to the manager, and upon approval, you'll go to HOD, and upon approval, you'll go to finance for disbursement. Okay, so the process is already set. So even if, let's say, you have a new colleague that comes in and doesn't really know on the manual process, yeah, they can straight start the workflow, and the workflow will be automatically go to the person for approval. Go to the designated person for approval. So it means consistency. You won't have problems whereby the person submit to the wrong manager and the manager reject the workflow and, things like that. Okay. And second thing, it also ensures accountability. So for people that doesn't use workflow, right? Whenever, let's say their manager approves something, And then it got rejected by the HOD and got questioned, saying that why this is approved. Then after that, the manager say, this is not supposed to be something that I approve. This one was wrongly sent. Okay, so with workflow, you won't have situations like this happening. Okay, because all the approvers are already designated. So, meaning that whatever documents that you submit, it'll go to the designated person, and the person cannot say that, oh, this is not supposed to be done by me. All right? No, because this one is already designated. Okay, so it promotes accountability and also efficiency. So efficiency meaning you do not need to do extra work lah, in order to fill in the form, to dispatch, or to send email, and so on and so forth. Okay, so workflows can be automated or semi-automated. All right, so normally, even if a semi-automated workflow is actually good enough, semi-automated meaning that the approver still need to go in to check and also to approve. Okay, so semi-automated normally is already good enough in order to fix processes in place. Okay, but whatever you do, if let's say that you need to implement a workflow, always map out the processes first. Okay, so that you have a clear idea on how it goes before designing your workflow. Okay, so say for example, you have a simple claim process over here. Okay, you need to make sure the steps are you submit, then after that it goes to manager for approval. Once the manager approve, it goes to the HOD, and once the HOD approve, it goes to finance disbursement. So map out all this process, okay, in order for you to have a clear idea and you don't design the wrong workflow. Right. So basically, this is a little bit on how to design all this to implement workflow in your business processes. Okay. So again, if let's say your process is complicated, okay, you not only you can you it doesn't mean that you have to have a linear process. Okay. So if let's say your process is complicated, you can use things like swim lane flowchart, or what we call a cross-functional flowchart, where you map out all the department, and then you can write out the process, okay, across the department. So this is something that you should map out first before designing your workflow. But having a workflow, it saves you a lot of issue. Okay. Now, so
Eric,
that's
sorry.
yeah.
Eric, there's a question in the Q&A session. Would you like to address that?
Okay. What apps do we need to use for DMS? Okay. So I put this on hold for a while. Later on, I'll come back to you. Okay. Now, enough for all the facts, right? So now let's have a little game lah. Okay. So for everyone present here, please do scan the QR on my screen. Okay.
Let's give them about a minute to scan, to
Yeah.
prepare.
Okay. So once you're ready, please do put inside the comment section.
Or
Say
raise your
that,
hand.
yeah, raise your hand.
One person request for link. Do you have a link for it?
Link hold on. Okay.
Okay, good. Just share it in the comment. So for those who are unable to scan the QR, Mr. Eric has already posted the link for this activity. You can click on it in the comment section. Eric, I think you have to change to everyone. Let me try. Don't know whether you. Okay. Yeah. So the link that I just reshared again is in the comments section. So for those may for the okay.
Okay, everybody ready? I see there's 13% ready. Okay, let's give it a little bit more time.
Maybe can roughly tell them rough one question is around how long?
Okay, so one question you'll have 25 seconds. So if you answer faster and accurate, you'll have a higher point.
Do they need to have a basic knowledge for this?
No basic knowledge is all what I presented just now.
Okay. So for those who never listen, habis lah. Okay. Mr. Naziro asked, do we get present if we get top three?
Do we get present or do we if we get top three?
We will email you.
Okay.
We will
Yeah,
check.
so
We will check on the prizes. Then we will email. Yeah.
so there are chances for you to win prizes lah.
Yeah. So do your best.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
everybody ready?
Yeah. I think should be okay.
Okay. Right. Let us start. Okay. What is document management? Okay, 10 seconds.
So there are 4
9,
choices there.
7, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Let's check the answers.
Okay. So 6% got this correct. Okay, congratulations. Now, okay, so question 2. All right. Which of the following can cause financial losses due to non-compliance? Okay, you can select more than one. Okay, this one don't select just one, you select more than one.
Or people can send emojis.
Yeah.
For a lot of people sending emojis.
Okay, unauthorized access to documents, missing documents. That is both correct. Right. Next one.
Wait, we see the score
Oh,
first.
leaderboard. Okay.
Ah,
Okay.
oi,
Oh,
HR.
okay. HR. Okay. So the third question. Right. What makes indexing an essential component of document management?
So this is one answer, right?
Yeah, this is one answer. Okay. Let's check
Wow,
the
smart,
score. Oh,
HR.
HR. Okay.
Wow,
Oh,
HR got strict.
HR be getting the gifts.
Must be approved by our HR also.
Okay. So what are the benefits of digital workflows? Select more than one. Again, this one, don't just select one, select more than one. Three, two, one. Okay, time's up.
Hey, more emojis, huh?
Okay, let's see.
Oh, HR has been overtaken.
Oh, oh, Fatin overtaken HR.
Okay, Fatin, all the way, all the way.
Okay, let's go. Next, last one. This. Okay, what does single source of truth means? This one is a little bit tricky because I haven't really thought about this yet.
Oh,
Yeah, a little bit not fair lah, but
Okay, it's okay. We will just see what they think.
it's a deal breaker. Okay,
A lot
so
of people,
let us
lot,
see.
a lot of people got it right.
Okay. Oh,
Uh,
champion Fatin.
okay,
Congratulations,
congratulations.
Fatin.
We will screenshot this and then we will share the price if we have.
Okay, so
Okay.
congratulations to Fatin. You're a very good participant. Don't worry, you'll check whether or not the gift is will be sent to you or not lah. Okay, so just to give you a few tips for anyone that would like to start digitizing their documents or start digitizing their digitizing journey. Okay, so a few tips in order to manage your documents for better productivity with or without a document management system. So there is 3 points over here: single source of truth, naming convention, security by defining roles and responsibility. I'll get into it shortly. Okay, so first things first, single source of truth, right? So this one is a data management concept whereby it states that all data should be stored in a centralized, consistent, and authoritative repository. So why is this something important? Okay, so imagine if, let's say, you have data all over your organization. Perhaps in the same department, few person is maintaining the same document, but different version, different content, and different time. Okay, so where does your information come from? So your information, if let's say it comes from sources like all this, it is going to be highly inaccurate, highly outdated. Okay, so by having all your documents in one place, okay, it means that everyone is using the same thing, everyone is referring to the same thing, and everyone is maintaining the same documents. Okay, so this eliminates inconsistency and it allows for better decision making because it highlights the entire picture rather than piece of the puzzle. Okay, so by having this, you can create your data once, or you can create your document once, store in one place, and deploy anywhere or access it from anywhere. Okay, so of course, people will fear on the security side because it's a single place, right? But with a good security practice, okay, not necessarily DMS, okay, you will solve the problem of security. Okay, but most of all, you have one single source of truth, which is your source of information. Okay, so another thing is naming convention. Now, if you take a look over here, okay, I'm sure a lot of people at some point in their life will maintain a document, then after that they forget to save the name. So the name ended up to be something like this, untitled doc, right? So let me ask you something. Does the untitled doc or the product A release notes B or A, okay, tell you more about a document? Which one tells you more about the document that you're dealing with? Okay, obviously it's going to be document B, right? If let's say you look at document A, nobody will know what is it about. But if you look at document B, basically it tells you this one is a certain product and it's a release note and it's the second version. Okay, so naming convention is important, especially for people who want to search for documents. Okay, if let's say you give a bad naming convention, even if the person is able to search, they have to confirm by clicking in and reading the content, which waste time lah. Okay, So how do you describe a document? Okay, you first consider the specific elements that make up the naming convention. Okay, you want it to be things like the title, the date, okay, and maybe the version or the name of the company or the name of the client. Okay, so make sure it is descriptive. Okay, make sure it is descriptive. Consider the document attributes that you can arrange in order. Okay, so the document attributes are, like I say, maybe the product, the title, and even what you call it, the version number. Okay, so you can arrange it in a different order, but just make sure it is consistent. Okay, if say for example your first file is the name, okay, the category and the date, your second file cannot be like the date, category, name. No, it has to be consistent. So you strive for the three C's: clarity, coherence, and conciseness. Okay, make sure the intended meaning is there. Okay, so the next one is by security by defining roles and responsibilities. Okay, so in a document lifecycle or in whatever document, there are documents that can be accessed by everyone. There are documents that can be accessed only by certain individuals. Okay, because there might be different people working on different documents, there might be different people viewing different documents, and there might be different people accessing different documents. So all these roles and responsibilities have to be defined. So by defining roles and responsibilities, it also creates a system of security. Okay, because everybody know what they are doing, what they can and cannot access, who can access which document. Okay, so this one, it promotes accountability, it promotes security. So if let's say you do not know how to define roles and responsibility, basically you can just map out everything. Okay, it's very simple. You just map according to the person or the group of people, okay, and the type of documents. And in between, you define what are the access that they are able to access. Okay, what are the access that they have? Okay, so say for example, over here got 4 access. You can highlight which are the ones that they have. Okay, so before I end, I would just like to share with you based on my experience on a case study I encountered. Yeah, so this case study is of MPM brand, okay, which is a solution provider for transportation services lah. Okay, so this car rental business, they previously, before implementing DMS, okay, they have a paper-based manual rental process that is very time consuming and is very prone to errors. Okay, so they spend a lot of time processing all these rental agreements and tracking all these rental vehicles. All this, it takes time away from their marketing and sales job. Okay, so other than that, they also have a very limited visibility into the status of all these rental agreements and vehicle maintenance. Okay, right? Making it very difficult to manage their fleet effectively. Okay, so upon implementing DMS, they are now able to automate all their tedious processes. Okay, so they can now automate all those what you call they can now automate their rental process. Okay, now they have workflows. Okay, they now have workflows to automate all their tedious process. So now their staff actually can focus more on their marketing and sales, right? So is because of all those automated workflows, vehicle maintenance, tracking. So all these processes, it reduce their errors. Okay, and also it improve all the visibility into the fleet and also ensure that all these agreements are assigned to the customers in a very timely manner lah. So previously they have issues in uh maintaining all these rental agreements, but now because everything is automated, uh their agreements all very timely. Okay, so that is it for the session today. Thank you very much for your attention and thank you for your attendance. Okay, so before I conclude the session, a little bit introduction on my company, right? So I'm from InfoConnect, which is a solution provider for DMS. Okay, so we have 31 years of experience and we serve more than 200 clients. Okay, and basically, we now have more than 80 staff and two physical office, one in Malaysia and Indonesia. Okay, so these are our portfolio of our clients, okay, that we serve across industry. Right? So thank you very much, everyone. Do you have any questions?
Eric, why don't we address the question earlier by Shafato? What apps do we need to use for DMS?
Okay, this one, right, I'll perhaps let one of my colleague contact you separately.
Can
Okay. So any other questions regarding the content today that I presented? Or do you need me to clarify anything? Or you have any issues that you are facing right now that you might need some consultation? Please do let me know.
just wait a few minutes, we let them.
Okay.
So feel free to leave your questions. Sure, I'm waiting for. Okay, you have your email address.
So any questions that you need me to clarify? Okay.
Okay,
Okay. So if there is no question, wait, okay. So if there's no question, I hope everyone can scan this QR, okay, to provide your feedback. Okay. So those who registered, not registered, sorry. So those who scan this QR and provide feedback is entitled for a free consultation. Okay. If you have any document management needs, please do contact us.
okay, I send the link into the comment as well, the comment section. So for those of you who got, there shouldn't be an issue. For those of you who can leave your feedback in our feedback form, it will be greatly appreciated lah. So you just leave the QR. Okay. So we are still welcoming any more questions. We just give it a minute or two lah, and give some time for everyone to also scan for the feedback form. Are there any issues? Okay. So Eric, anything else from your side? Nothing really. Eh?
Nothing from my side.
Okay. So if there are no further questions, we'll wrap up the session for today lah. Okay. So once again, a big thank you to Mr. Eric for our engaging session, and thank you everyone for participating, especially in the activity just now lah. So you've been a very good audience. Congratulations to those winners. So we hope today you've gained valuable insights on how you can take your first steps into from paper chaos to digital confidence lah. Basically, how to digitize, make the small changes in your document management practices can hopefully also make a very huge impact. So once again, we really appreciate it if you would fill up the feedback form. If there are any issues, you can contact us at marketing@infoconnect.com.my. I've left our email. Sorry, attendance. Sorry, what do you mean by attendance? Huh? There's a question. So one comment, one attendance.
I think he's referring for certificate. You're referring to the NTW participation, that one, right? Okay. Yeah, that one will be done later on.
Later on, huh?
Later on.
Okay, cool. We will we have your email addresses, we have your contacts for this Zoom participation. Should there be any, we also have your your attendance from the NTW website also. So we will cross check from there. We will address accordingly. Okay. Are there any more comments or questions? So if there are no more comments or questions, we will end our session for today lah. Thank you once again, everyone, for participating and attending. We hope you get something from this engaging and insightful webinar lah. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your attendance. Thank you.